Hey, it's Sue
and Megan,
the Spine Breakers.
And today we are going to do a Halfoween-A-Thon wrap up since
Yep.
Halfoween-A-Thon ended on, what was it, Sunday the 7th?
Yeah, technically like Saturday
at midnight or whatever. Yes. So we are going to do a little wrap up and talk about how we did with Halfoween-A-Thon.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone who participated, and shout out to everyone who came to the reading sprints.
You're the real MVPs.
Yeah. And we apologize for having to schedule the movie night, but
that was my bad. That was my work trip's bad.
Yeah. But we are rescheduling it for Saturday the 20th.
Yes.
Right?
Or no, Friday the 20th.
Friday the 20th
at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes, so we will be watching I Know What You Did Last Summer and live tweeting it, so we'd love it if you joined in.
Yes, make sure to join in for that because it's always a good time.
Yes, and we are drinking a beer. This is called Beernana Pudding.
Beernana.
It's got Donkey Kong, I think, on
Looks
the
like
front.
Donkey Kong.
And it's from Ingenious Brewing Co., which is in Texas somewhere,
Tejas?
I think. I don't know. I mean, it has a little Texas state on their name, so it's definitely Texas, but I don't see where it says where in Texas. I was recently in Texas, so I picked up some beers there.
So cheers. I don't want to knock your mushroom mug, so I'll put my finger in there.
We went to a Stein painting night, and I painted this.
And it turned out killer.
Dude, I was pretty proud of it.
It looks awesome. I love it.
But this beer, I like it a lot.
It's good.
It's not really a summer beer, because it's a stout.
But it's very tasty. Yeah, it's like
it's a milk stout brewed with bananas, wafer cookies, and vanilla beans. And it does kind of taste like banana pudding.
It does taste like banana pudding.
Yeah.
But it's tasty. I like it.
So it's really tasty, but it's a bit dark for summer, I would say.
It's thick.
Quiggles, don't hump your sister.
She's going to kick your ass, bud.
I think because the door's open, he tries to keep her from going outside.
Oh,
which is good.
He's helping. Yeah. But she's like not having it. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the books that we read for Halfoween-A-Thon.
Let's do. I don't remember the order of the challenges, but I know one of them was to read a horror graphic novel.
Yep.
And so for that, I read The Low Woods by, I think it's Carmen Maria Machado. Is that right? Yes. And illustrated by Danny. And I fucking loved it. It was about this town where the women forget. Like, they forget things. And then these two young women, these two young queer women, I think they're in high school, and they kind of get embroiled in this whole thing, and then they get to the bottom of it and figure it out. And so it's a lot more, there's a lot more to it than that, but I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But the artwork was really cool. There is like a little bit of body horror in it, but it wasn't anything that I felt like was gross.
Yeah.
It's not like, there's one scene that's a little gross, but like other than that, I didn't think it was. So loved it. Trigger warning for sexual assault though.
So for the graphic novel challenge, I read volume 5 of Monstrous. This volume is called War Child, and it's by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. And this continues the story of Meika, I think is how you pronounce her name. I could be saying it wrong. Is the main character's name, but she's a young woman who has a literal monster living inside of her. And there's also a war happening between these different factions, and she's kind of at the center of it. And it's really good. Like I've said before, I do definitely want to go back and like read these all in succession once they're all out, because it's complex and it can be kind of hard to follow, especially if it's, been a while since you read the last volume. But also, as I've said before, the artwork is just stunning. It's beautiful. Killer. Like, look at these inner pages, just beautiful.
Beautiful.
Like, I would frame these and put them on my wall.
Yeah, those are really awesome.
So, hey, maybe I'll count that for that challenge in our...
Yeah.
You gotta read it.
You should. You totally should.
Yeah, it was really good. I think I ended up giving this volume 4 stars just because, like, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, if I, on a reread, when I read them in succession, it would maybe be 5 stars. But because I was kind of in the beginning, like, it took me a while to remember, like, exactly what was going on. But still really good. I'm really enjoying this series.
So one of the other challenges was to read a book about a haunted house. And so for this, we both read Man, Fuck This House by Brian Asman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it was okay.
It was
like, it's about this family that moves into a new house in a new, like, across the country. They move quite far away. And the house is haunted, sort of.
It leads you to believe that it is haunted until you find out that perhaps it's something different.
There's something else going on. But it was a short book. I'd call it a novella. Maybe it's like 150 or so pages.
Yeah.
And it was like a quick read. It was compelling pretty engrossing, I think.
Yeah, I was engrossed.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say it was, like, great.
No, I didn't love the writing.
Yeah, it was okay. I feel like because at first I didn't like it, but I think it's because I wasn't realizing that, like, the son in the family is supposed to be incredibly intelligent. And so I was reading it like, why is he using all these big highfalutin words? Like, this is stupid. Like, I thought it was just the author being, like, hoity-toity.
Being pretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that kid, though. Like, the really smart kid.
No, he was the worst.
Oh, my God, he was terrible. I was, like, actively rooting against him the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, kid?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the ending was kind of silly.
Yeah, I really didn't like the ending. Like, I'm sure that there are people who liked it. I did not. I thought it was silly. I thought, like, the book did a good job up until that point of being, like, very creepy, you know, and kind of skeeving me out a little bit. And then when that happened, I was like, well, okay. Well, okay, then.
Yeah. And it was, like, it was fun, and there were funny moments, but I don't think it lived up to that title. Like, the title made it seem like it would be...
like a horror comedy.
A very funny, like, zany horror comedy. And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So that was also a letdown.
Yeah, that was a big bummer, so...
But I think I gave it 3 stars, because, like, it was fine.
I think that's what I gave it to, because, I mean, it was engrossing, and I did enjoy it up until the ending, so... Yeah, I think I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah. Okay, so for the challenge of reading a book with darker night in the title, I attempted to read Night Fires by Karen Harbaugh, and I couldn't get through it. I got, like, almost halfway through it, and then I decided to DNF it because I was just a no for me.
It was a no. Yeah. It was a hard no.
Because this is a historic paranormal romance. So it's set in 1793 in France during the French Revolution. And this was like the beginning of the period of, what did they call it? The Reign of Terror, I think, where tons of people got killed. Like tons of people got their heads cut off.
Oh, fun. Like you do.
Yeah. And so our main character, Simone, is a vampire. I never got to a part where they explained how or why she was a vampire. I don't know if that's ever explained, but she's a vampire. And she is from a rich family, and her family gets killed by revolutionaries, and she's the only one who survives because she's a fucking vampire. But so this was like an anti-revolutionary book, like the main really characters. Yeah, which I thought was an interesting take.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the male love interest is a British spy, and he's the fucking worst. I hated this guy because he was just like a misogynist asshole, and I just really wanted her to eat him instead of Caligula.
It was a weird take. It was an interesting take.
And the dude was the worst.
Yes.
And like what finally made me definitely give up on it was I finally got to a sex scene.
Oh God.
And it was not very consensual.
Oh, gross. No.
And she's a fucking vampire. I'm like, eat him.
Eat him.
Eat him.
Like what? Just bite
and maybe
him.
that was supposed to be, it's like, oh, if she really wanted to overpower him, she could. And I'm like, yeah, but she's literally saying no the entire time.
It's like, fuck that. Fuck that.
So I was just like, nope.
Nuh-uh,
nope,
over it.
Not doing
gonna do it.
So I DNF'd that one. Do not plan on finishing it.
Do not blame you. I did not finish this book either for the challenge, and it's not because I didn't like it. I just ran out of time. But I was reading Midnight Robber by Nalo Hopkinson, and I still am reading it. I saved it for last because it was the longest book that I had chosen, and so I wanted to get the shorter ones out of the way first, just because I wanted to get more done versus less. But I am... So Midnight Robber is about this man and his child who get essentially banished to this alternate dimension, and it's similar to the dimension in which they live, but like much deadlier. And so I'm loving it so far. It took me a little while to adjust to it because it's written in a dialect, and I love it. Like, it works, but it just takes me a minute to adjust. And I really fucking hate one of the characters. Like, I fucking hate Antonio.
Is that the father?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's awful. So like, I'm invested. I really love the little girl, Tantan. I want to know what happens. I like the way it's written because it's like somebody it reminds me of like Aladdin, where the guy in the beginning, like the shopkeep is like telling you a tale. It's kind of what it reminds me of, and I dig that. But yeah, I'm still reading it because I ran out of time. But so far, I really dig it. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, and then there was also a challenge to read a creature feature.
Yes. Yes, there was. So,
and I just counted monstrous for mine since she has a monster.
Literally has a monster
inside her.
Yeah, that's solid. I read Married with Zombies by Jessie Peterson, and I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, I didn't think I was going to dislike it. I just thought it was going to be like a really stupid zombie novel, which it is silly. Like, it is a silly zombie novel. Basically, this couple is on the rocks and they're in couples counseling, and then like the zombie apocalypse hits, and so they have to like fight zombies with each other, and they end up like, spoiler alert, it's not really a spoiler, I mean, you could guess. They end up like kind of falling back in love with each other over the course of it. So it was a fun romp, and I really enjoyed it. I also assumed that Jessie Peterson was a man. Not a man. Jessie Peterson's a woman, because as I was reading it, I was like, it was very not tropey, like not relationship tropey, because I was afraid that it was gonna depict the woman as like a nagging harpy, and the man is like a dolt, you know, like a lazy dolt, and you know, the sitcom tropes.
Right.
But it was very trope free, and the characters were both like likable people. They just had some issues in their relationship, and I dug it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah.
So the last book that we both read was I Know What You Did Last Summer by Lois Duncan, which was the book to movie, which technically I guess we didn't complete because we, because we
didn't watch the film.
Haven't watched the movie yet. I've seen it when I was a teen.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Should I plug this in?
Oh, probably. Come here, buddy.
Pause.
Come here, buddy. Well, hello, handsome. Yes, which technically, like you were saying, we hadn't finished the challenge because we haven't watched it yet, but we did read the book.
Yes, and we will watch the movie.
And we will watch the movie.
But this book is like a YA book before YA existed.
YA before YA was a thing.
Yeah, it was published in '73, I think, and it's about some teenagers who do something terrible, and instead of owning up to it, they
make a pact and try to hide it.
And then turns out somebody knows. Yeah. So This, I had also read this when I was a kid, but, you know,
It's been a minute.
a long time.
I have not ever read it, so this is my first time.
Yeah,
reading it.
and I thought it was okay. I didn't realize, because I bought it on Kindle, and I didn't realize that it was apparently like an updated version of it.
I got the same one, and I
Which-
also didn't know.
Yeah, which I didn't like. I didn't think they, what am I trying to say? I feel like I'm all flustered now.
It didn't really blend well.
Yeah,
like
it just didn't
modern
work.
references just felt kind of like tacked in there.
Yeah, because they didn't change much about like the plot, if anything.
Right.
But they just threw in like references to them having cell phones, but then conveniently their cell phone was always like they
Off
forgot
or
it at
forgotten.
home, or
Right.
it was off, or had died, because you know in the book they're using landlines all the time.
Right.
And then they also go to Starbucks at one point, which, if they were in Seattle, is feasible, because apparently Starbucks, the
Oh.
first Starbucks opened in 71. I
Didn't
looked this
know.
up because I was
You're
so
like, what the hell?
confused about what was happening in this
Yeah.
book. I was like, did people have cell phones
What
in the
the
70s?
fuck?
Yeah, and there's a character who's a veteran, and he had just gotten back from Iraq. And I think in the original, he had probably just gotten back from Vietnam.
Yeah.
I don't remember for certain, but given the time period.
Probably not.
Yeah, so it was just, it was just weird and didn't really, because the book reads very much like a book written in the 70s.
It does. Yeah, it does.
You know, like
The dialogue
gender roles,
is very dated.
Yeah, and the gender roles are very old-fashioned, and the relationship dynamics between men and women and all that. So it just didn't work, and it was stupid of them to do that. So
Agree.
if you do want to read this book, I definitely recommend getting the original edition and not that updated edition. But yeah, this was another one that, again, I was like, it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, I
think
felt the same
3
way.
stars.
Yeah, I think I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, I thought it ended super abruptly.
It did, and I was like, wait, what? Like, what else is gonna, like, yeah, it just ended all of a sudden, and I was like, well, I feel like we could have wrapped up some more loose ends here, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because I was definitely, because there was like a preview of one of her other books at the end of the Kindle, so I thought there was going to be more.
Same. Yeah.
And then it was just over. And
it
I
was like 88% or something when it ended.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Guess it's done.
So, but it was fine. Like, it was fun. I feel like I'm pretty sure I liked it a lot when I was a kid. So I think that, like, for a kid,
For youths.
like a tween or a teen,
yeah, who are into
it
horror.
would be a fun read.
It's also like a really good, I think it'd be a good summer read, even for like adults, just because it went really fast. It's not like super heavy reading, you know, so it's just kind of a fun murderous romp.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I'm excited to watch the movie because I know it's very different from the book, and it's like more of a slasher. Whereas
Yeah.
the book is a little bit more just like a thriller.
Suspensey.
Suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty stoked to watch the movie.
So I think that'll be fun.
Yes.
So tune in Friday.
Friday. Friday the 20th. And we will watch that movie and we'll live tweet it and it'll be a good time.
Yep. So that's all we read for Halfoween-A-Thon. Let us know in the comments below what you read.
Yeah, how'd you guys do? Did you finish all the challenges? Did you have a good time? Let us know.
Did you do a costume? I don't know if anybody did. We were going to, and it didn't happen.
And then I got called away, so which actually, like, in some ways it worked for a readathon, and in some ways it didn't. Like, it worked in that I had a shit ton of time in airports and on airplanes to read, and, like, what else am I going to do? But it didn't work in that I missed, like, hanging out with Sue and doing our movie and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, and I fully planned to dress up for the live, and then I just completely forgot until like 10 minutes before, and I was like, fuck. So that was my bad. I was gonna do Mallory from Bird Box,
Oh, nice.
but also that would be hard to do on a live
That
I'd
would
be
be.
blindfolded.
You could not see. That would be a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that would be like a quick, fun one.
It would be. And that's a good book. Bird Box. And Mallory was good too. I liked the sequel.
Yeah, I liked it too. Not as good as Bird Box.
Agree.
But I thought it was a good sequel. Yeah, so that's it.
That's it. Yeah, so thank you guys. If you did Halfoween-A-Thon, like, thank you for participating. We have a good time with it every year, so.
Yeah. And Halfoween, halfway to Halloween is like a thing now.
Yeah, it was funny because I went to a bookstore when I was in Rhode Island. I was in Westerly, and there was this really neat like used bookstore there, and the lady there was asking if my coworker and I had read anything lately, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been reading a lot of horror because I'm doing Halfoween, and she's like, well, Halfoween, what's that? And I was like, well, let me tell you. But yeah, I was like, well, it's halfway to Halloween. My friend and I do a readathon then, and then I had to step away because I had a phone call. But yeah, she was very interested. So.
Yeah, I saw even the Springfield Cardinals were doing like a halfway to Halloween thing.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if they were selling these shirts or not, but the guy had on like a spooky Springfield Cardinal shirt, which is like our minor league team here in Springfield. But that had like the Cardinals were like skeletons, and the jersey was purple. I was like, that's
kind of cool. Yeah, that is kind of like, I don't even give a shit about baseball, but that's kind of neat. Yeah.
But I go to Springfield Cardinals games sometimes.
You could wear your spooky jersey.
I know.
That would work.
I don't have a jersey, so
you need one.
I saw John Goodman at a Springfield Cardinals game once.
That's pretty cool.
My closest brush with celebrity. I saw him. He was very close to me. But I didn't want to bother him, so I didn't talk to him.
Which is that's very considerate.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. So.
That's it.
That's it. I was like, did I have anything else to say?
We hope you guys had a happy Halfoween.
Happy Halfoween, y'all.
And we'll see you when we see you.
We'll see you when we see you, friends. We don't know. Find us on...
we can do some more, if you gotta read it, content soon, whether it's a live or a actual video.
Well, and find us on our socials too. Those are down below, so you're welcome to follow us and chat with us there if you want to shoot me a message. That's always welcome. So
so thanks for watching.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.